Hey K-popers, and welcome back to Hallyu. It's time for another deep dive, and today I want to talk to you guys about a staple of the K-pop world, weekly music shows. Music shows are a great way for fans to support their favorite artists and to see them perform live. And for the artists, there's no better way to promote their latest music than to perform and hopefully win a music show. But there's a lot more than meets the eye here, and so today we're going to talk about how music shows work, why they matter to fans and artists, how each artist earns their score on a music show, how you can attend music shows, and finally we'll talk about some really crazy music show records and notable wins. We've got a lot to cover, so without further ado, let's dive right in. So what is a music show? Well, in its simplest form, it's a weekly music competition that's broadcast on a major TV network. Each show consists of many live performances by various artists who are promoting new music, as well as interviews with some of the performers. The shows are hosted by MCs who guide the show through each segment. At the end of the show, nominations for that week's first place artists are revealed, and then one artist with the most points from the week leading up to the show wins. The winner then gets an encore stage where they can perform their new song once again, and they also win a trophy to commemorate their achievement. After receiving the trophy, they're also given some time to send a message to their fans and thank them for their support. There are 6 different major music shows in Korea each and every week, one every single day except for Monday. On Tuesday, SBS MTV airs the show. Wednesday is MBC Music's Show Champion, Thursday is Mnet's M Countdown, Friday is KBS's Music Bank, Saturday is MBC's Show Music Core, and Sunday is SBS's Inkigayo. I should also mention that there are 2 other shows, Pops and Soul and Simply K-pop, which air on Arirang, but these shows don't have an official charting system and they're usually not considered in the regular music show rotation. In fact, Simply K-pop is actually all English. As I mentioned, each show will have 2 or 3 MCs to introduce each act, conduct interviews, and provide some lighthearted commentary throughout the show. MCs usually host a show for a predefined period of time. As an example, the current roster of MCs for Inkigayo includes April's Naeun, Monsta X's Minhyuk, and NCT's Jaehyun. Music shows also occasionally have special episodes. One instance of this is when a show hits a milestone episode. On shows like this, there are usually throwback performances. For example, on the 600th episode of M Countdown, G-Friend performed Rough and Navilera, EXID performed their breakout hit Up and Down, and Fromis 9 even performed the iconic Into the New World by Girls' Generation. There are also often special episodes held in conjunction with live events, like the 2015 M Countdown Fields in New York during KCON New York. I was actually lucky enough to attend this concert, and let me tell you, it certainly was a special episode. With all that being said though, why do music shows matter? Well, music shows are essential for artists to promote their new music. Brand new artists get much needed exposure when they have their debut stage, and returning artists are able to show off their latest songs on a comeback stage. Winning a music show is also really important. It's a major accomplishment for an artist, and it's a badge of honor that they really aspire to earn. For fans, there aren't many feelings that compare to your favorite group winning their first music show, and it inspires fans to have even more support for their group in the future. And when you take a step back, winning a music show really signifies an important achievement for an artist. That's because for you to win a music show in the first place, it means you had to have a significant amount of broadcast time on TV and radio through the week, it means you've had lots of music video views and social media activity, and of course it means you've had strong physical and digital album sales and streaming numbers. So, the very fact that you win a music show means your week of promoting has been really successful. Just how does an artist's score get calculated though? First, it's important to know that each music show has different weighting systems and scoring schemes, so it might actually be easier for some artists to win on certain music shows and not others. Every show does have a live voting system as well, which contributes to the final score. Usually, about 90% of an artist's score is determined before the show, and the final 10% comes from live SNS activity and voting both by audience members and online. While each show's weighting is different, they do all rely on roughly the same combination of metrics that they award points for. The biggest factor is digital sales and streaming numbers, which account for about 40 to 65% of the score depending on the show. SNS activity, which includes social media platforms and music video views, can be worth up to 30% of the score. Physical album sales are worth 10% of the score, and broadcast time and activity throughout the week account for another 10 or 20% of the final score. Then, as I mentioned, live voting online and by audience members also accounts for another 10%. A key part of this scoring for all shows except for Show Champion is actually that the scoring is relative. What that means is that there's actually a maximum possible number of points that an artist can earn in each category, and thus overall as a total. The overall total varies by show, but it's usually around 10,000 to 12,000 points. The artist that does best in a certain category earns the maximum number of points for that category, and then the other artists get points proportional to what the best number was in that category. I know that sounds complicated, but here's an example. Let's say physical sales are worth 1,000 points, and Oh My Girls Nonstop sold the most physical albums with 25,000 that week. They would get 1,000 points in that category, the full value. Then if New West sold 10,000 albums, they would earn 400 out of 1,000 points, proportional to Oh My Girls sales. So, an artist would have to sweep every single category on a show to earn a perfect score. Now, how do those lucky fans get into the audience for a show? Well, believe it or not, music show entry is actually usually free. Tickets are usually obtained either through the broadcaster like KBS, or through official fan clubs and fan cafes. For the broadcaster route, there's usually an application process that varies with each show. Music Bank has an online lottery which requires a KBS account, and you have to sign up for the lottery each week as well. Inkigayo and the show require you to apply through the SBS app, and M Countdown gives out tickets on a first-come first-served basis in person. Fans have actually been known to line up really early in the morning to get those particular in-person tickets. Now, as I said, you can also get tickets by being part of the official fan club. In most cases, you need to have purchased official membership to the club, and then priority is given to fans who have also purchased the physical album for that comeback. Sometimes official fan cafes on Daum will also hold a lottery for a small number of tickets. Something else to keep in mind for those of us who are not Korean citizens is that this show actually also makes a very limited number of tickets available for international fans only, which are available for purchase through various event and tourism agencies. And that's how I got my ticket. For $53, I was able to attend the June 25th, 2019 episode of the show, where I got to see From S9 perform Fun, Uju Sun-yeon perform Boogie Up, and of course ATEEZ win for their song Wave. So if you're an international fan, don't give up on your dream of seeing a music show. It's easier than you might think. Alright, before we wrap up, let's talk about some music show records and some notable wins. Some of the most awarded artists in history are TWICE, Girls' Generation, EXO, and BTS. On September 19th, 2015, Girls' Generation won Show Music Core for Lionheart. This win made them the first artist to eclipse the monumental bar of 100 music show wins. It wasn't until just last week, on June 13th, 2020, that TWICE passed this mark to become the winningest girl group in history. The most awarded song in music show history goes to BTS for Boy With Love. It won 21 music shows. In 2012, Psy's Gangnam Style won 10 consecutive shows, which passed the previous record holder, Girls' Generation's G, at 9 wins. Gangnam Style also would go on to win 17 shows in total, which also broke that record set by G at 11 wins. TWICE has the most music show wins in a calendar year. In 2017, they won 36 music shows. Now, I also wanted to highlight 2 music show wins in particular that really stood out to me as especially important. For the first one, we need to rewind to February 29th, 2008. Girls' Generation was a rookie group in 2008, and at the time they had not yet had a hit song or become famous. Due to heavy traffic, they were at risk of being late and potentially missing their performance slot for Music Bank. And at the time, missing a schedule like that would actually earn you a 1-year ban from performing. It would have ruined Girls' Generation's career and rendered them unable to promote their new music. Then, in this traffic, they were involved in a car accident. Thankfully, no one was injured beyond shock and shortness of breath, but they couldn't drive to the music show anymore. So the girls walked the rest of the way to the studio, making it just in time for their performance of Kissing You. Then, at the end of the show, this happened. I don't blame the girls one bit for bursting into tears. What an emotional moment for the group. Speaking of emotional moments, the second win I want to talk about happened on the May 15th, 2014 broadcast of M Countdown. At the time, EXO fans were in upheaval. The leader of EXO-M, Chris, had just filed for a contract termination with SM and there was a lot of infighting in the fandom. EXO-K was in the midst of promoting Overdose, and this week it was up against the legendary Mr. Chu by A-Pink. Only Suho, EXO-K's leader, remained on the set to watch the final scores. And it turned out EXO-K won that night, taking their third win for Overdose. By himself, Suho started a normal acceptance speech, but then he paused and started talking directly to the fans, EXO-Ls. Translated, he said, "Our motto is we are one, and not just me but all of us. We will become a group that thinks this of ourselves and of our fans." Then, since he was the only member there, Suho had to try and perform by himself. The whole moment had a raw, honest, and sincere feel to it. Take a look.
구호가 미아원인데 이 구호처럼 자신만이 아닌 함께하는 우리를 생각하는, 우리 엑소를 생각하는, 우리 엑소 팬을 생각하는, 우리 엑소 팬 여러분들 생각하는 엑소 되겠습니다. 열심히 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. We are one! 엑소 사랑하자! 이젠 돌이킬 수도 없다. 이건 분명 위험한 중독. So bad, no one can stop her. 오직 그것만.
Really, there have been countless wonderful moments on music shows, so let me know in the comments what some of your favorites are. I hope you guys enjoyed learning all about music shows, and hopefully I was able to teach you guys something new. Thank you guys so much for watching this deep dive, and be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future deep dives. I also have a Patreon link in the description, so if you find this content fun and informative, and you're able to support my work, it would mean a lot to me. This has been Deep Dive number 6, Music Shows.